Period drama fans are prepared for the TV adaptation of Wolf Hall with the same fervour the nation usually reserves for a Football World Cup quarter-final. And for those involved, the pressure must feel vaguely similar. A nation, at least a BBC Two watching nation, awaits. The Booker Prize-winning novel is the work of Hilary Mantel. The historical drama charts the rise of Thomas Cromwell through the corridors of power in the Tudor court. But it also pits pragmatism and ideology, loud power and quiet manipulation, principle versus practicality. I went to interview the director, Peter Kosminski, in the National Portrait Gallery earlier this evening, and I began by asking him what had been his greatest fear in taking on Mantel's works.
It's well-trodden territory, isn't it? The Tudors, Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII. The danger is that you just regurgitate familiar material with a slight twist. Hilary Mantel's books are so much better than that. And also you're dealing with the tremendous following that those books have. It's passionate. I mean, I've encountered those people, and there's that sort of don't you dare muck it up kind of element.
And that don't you dare screw it up, did any of that come from Hilary Mantel herself?
No, in fairness to Hilary, she couldn't have been more supportive.
Was she on set? Did you feel she was sort of embedded in the process?
Hilary was very involved in the making of the stage version of Wolf Hall, and I think she felt if she was ever to write anything again, she had to step back from the sort of second child, if you like. When she saw it for the first time, there was the shock of the new for her.
Do you remember the adjectives that she used?
Well, actually, she was silent. I was sitting behind her, and when episode 2 came to an end, she just held over her head, because she knew I was behind her, she held her thumbs up, but I don't think she could speak for a while. You know, and that was one of the most wonderful moments of my career.
The Cardinal's the only man who can deliver an annulment from the Pope. He's the only man who can deliver the King's conscience and deliver it clean.
If the King wants it, and according to you, the Cardinal, formerly the chief subject of the kingdom, wants it, then I must say, Master Cromwell, it's all taking a marvellous long while to come to pass.
And she's not getting any younger.
The books are very much about power and idealism versus pragmatism. Do you think it reflects our age, that pragmatism wins out?
It's always nice when you see a principled person, particularly as principle seems so absent in our world at the moment, as you say. But in actual fact, in Wolf Hall, we're encouraged to side with the pragmatist. Thomas More is presented as a complex character. It's not black and white as you'd expect with Hilary Mantel, but as quite stiff-necked, as inflexible, as a man who will not only sacrifice his own life, but effectively the lives of his family as well, over a point of principle. And Cromwell, the pragmatist, doesn't understand it. And it's interesting to see these two people who really don't get each other.
When you put it in those sort of ideological terms, I guess there's a very current sense of idealism in the world today. It's not coming necessarily from the Christian leaders or statesmen, but it is coming from radical Islamism. Did you ever feel that when you were making the drama?
Well, I think you're making a really interesting point, and it was very much in my mind as I was working on the show. It struck me that Islam is about 500 years younger than Christianity as a religion, which means that this drama, set about 500 years ago, looks at a time when Christianity was about the same age as a religion as Islam is today. So we look at some of the extraordinarily extreme things that radical Islam jihadists are doing, cutting people's heads off, massacring Shias over points of what might appear to outsiders fairly arcane differences of religious dogma, but look back 500 years to what Christianity was doing in that time. Well, cutting people's heads off and putting them on pikes at the entrance to London or on London Bridge, burning people alive, disemboweling people while still alive, and often over disagreements over, for example, whether the Bible should be available in the vernacular.
Do we have a Cromwell today?
I think we probably have lots of Cromwells. You know, Cromwell by his nature was moderately invisible, but in many ways he's the sort of archetypal Mandarin figure. You know, and in the same sense that those extremely powerful, unelected, slightly faceless individuals who run our big ministries are unknown to us.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.